Hello YouTubers, Love at Scout 1. I've had to come in again because it's pouring down with rain again. So the beautiful summer that we're looking forward to happened a few weeks ago. Did y'all enjoy it? Because it were only 2 days and it's continuing to down with rain. So the work I wanted to do outside today, I was going to kick about at home, but unfortunately we've only done a couple of hours work and then we've had to come indoors. So showered off, shaved off, and I'm uploading another video as we speak, but I thought while I'm tidying up, I'm talking about being in the office. It's not an office really, it's a storeroom off the gun room. It's not very grand at all. It's basically just a little box room, but it's my box room and it's where all my stuff is. So I keep falling over this. I've treated myself to a new rucksack at the beginning of the year, and I don't know if you can see on this decal, this leather decal here, it's the Pathfinder logo from the Pathfinder school. This is the Duluth pack, or Duluth pack depending where you come from, and it's kind of old age technology. It's oldie worldy. It's canvas and leather and cotton webbing straps with big cotton rivets in, big copper rivets in, but this goes back, and takes me back to, days camping as a scout and a cub, and before we sort of moved on to, KS 100E and modern materials and all that sort of stuff. So it's very reminiscent of packs that I've used for a long time, old army packs that we used to have as kids. And out of all the Pathfinder logo stuff that Duluth do, it's. I mean, they're not cheap by any stretch of imagination, but this is the cheaper one. It's a lot cheaper than the Bushcraft pack. Which, if you haven't seen that, then just YouTube Duluth Bushcrafter pack. It's a phenomenal pack, really well made, and I had a lot of thought gone into it. But I plumbed for this one because I think it's got a lot more miles in it. Again, nearly everything I've got's either OD green, spruce, or brown. So went for the one in spruce, and I really like it. I've not used it a great deal. It's not been on many trips. It's sort of just been kicking about, and I've put lumps of gear in it and keep filling it up. And it is a bit like a TARDIS. It doesn't look very big. You can't really see on the camera. You can see my big silly Crocs though. It doesn't look all that big, but it's a bit like the TARDIS. It just swallows kit up. So what I'll do is jump straight in, and then we'll talk about some of the stuff that's in the pack, and if you've got any comments or any ideas or any suggestions, by all means let me have them. Good leather straps. I am a fan. As you know, if you've followed some of my videos, I am critical about leather work, and I do like leather work. I do like leather as a material. I think it's very good, and it's as good as any modern material that there is. And these are what I would class as bridal quality belts. The straps that are made out of leather that would be equally as happy on any horse bridle or horse set that I've ever seen. They're attached to the pack by the Duluth say the hand pounded copper rivets. Well, I've no reason to doubt them. The quality is excellent. Top at pack is a British Army wool blanket. It's the 80-20 mix, which is the 80% wool, 20% nylon. Makes for a very soft blanket. Makes for a very comfortable cover, and it's got the canteen shop cinch straps on, which you can just basically cinch your blanket up, and it's got some some toggle adjustment there. And then I bought the strap, the paracord cobra weave strap, so you can, if you wanted to, you could stick your axe or your parang or your machete or whatever in there. Maybe a 58 pattern Crusader mug and a water canteen and some bits of kit in your pocket, and you can set off. I like wool blankets. I like wool as a material. That I think has got to be one of my favourite pieces of kit. I've not had it very long. I've had it a couple of years, but that's done some miles, and seen some campaigns, and it's still holding up. Just chuck it in washer when I come home, put some softener in with it, and it gets nicer and more comfortable and softer and more sort of I don't know, I think we all hark back to that sort of blanket that you used to have when you were a kid, that made you feel comfortable and warm and safe when you were in your bed. So, and I'm no different, you know. But you know, as a sleep thing, it's really comfortable, and it's warm, traps air really well. I have got, which you saw in the EDC leather pouch video, the blanket pin, so you can put this round you, basically make it into a kind of a poncho really, just to stop it slipping off your shoulders. Or you know, you can just knock 2 pebbles on the corners and put some paracord round and just keep it hanging on your shoulders. Nice thing. They're not very expensive either. If you ever see them on eBay, buy one, even if they're sort of 10-12 quid, which I know is a bit of an outlay, but wash it or keep washing it and use it. Just throw it on the bed, or you know, curl up on settee with your missus with it, or you know whatever it is. They're worth having. The one I had before that, and the one that I still use a lot, is an oak Polish one. It's a bit bigger than that one, sort of square footage, but and that's 100% wool. And that's same, you know, that's at some campaigns as well, and that, you know, that just kicks about in the sort of the spares box at home. But you know, good piece of kit, well worth having if you're doing summer camping, if you just think you're going to be off, you know, overnight or a few hours, or even if you just want to go and find yourself somewhere quiet in forest and just, you know, just recharge for a couple of hours. You know, make a brew and have a pot of tea, and you know, sit on your kit mat and just, you know, draw that around your shoulders, especially in autumn time. You know, when we go out collecting mushrooms and stuff in autumn time, little man and, you know, some of his pals, we go out and just mooch about in woods for a couple of hours, and then sit down and have a pot of tea and maybe cook some bacon and have some sandwiches. Ideal thing. The way this pack's constructed, it's got 2 pockets on, a pocket on either side, and one of them's got a sleeve. One of them's got a sleeve there that you can slide your axe into, or your hatchet, or whatever. You all know what a Gransfors Brooks axe is. That's mine. It's the hunter's axe. Being a deer stalker and hunter, that's the one I favour. The one with the round-up pawl, and it's got the light trade axe or tomahawk head. But I'll do a video on axes. You know, that's coming up. But these are a chunk of money, and I'm in 2 minds. I don't know whether these are as good or as bad as one that you could buy at B&Q. Probably not. These are forged. Some of them are, you know, stamped. Some of them are drop forged. Some of them are cast even. But you know, for me as a stalker, that helps sometimes with, you know, with hard hides to come off. You know, I'll describe what, you know, what that pull actually does in another video. The big sort of knife that I tend to have near is the Johnson's blade. It's the pot belly. It's the one with the, like, the piggyback sheath with the little skinning knife on. When I got mine, I kept putting it down, and there's a company on the internet called Cryptoglow, which make scales of different colours, really bright lurid colours, and they also do some that glow in the dark. So of course, if you put your knife down, the scales get charged up by the sunlight. You know, go back at dusk time or dark time and find it. But because I tend to put things down, and everything, you know, sort of knives and stuff now, I tend to get bright orange ones. So if I put them down, I don't lose them. But that's just, they didn't do bright orange scales, they did lime green ones. Cryptoglow on the internet, they're not very expensive, and the lady who owns the company, I think she's called Jenny. I think that's the lady who I dealt with, because my scales got lost in transit, but then they turned up, and you know, they were very good. The customer service were really good, so highly recommend them. So if we jump into pack, I just carry in my pack probably what you all carry in your packs. You know, Cooks that I showed you before. That's a Swedish Army poncho liner in there, Swedish Flecktarn, which is a very good camo if you're doing any hunting or stalking or anything like that. If you can get that Swedish Flecktarn camo, it's very good. It's very good in the British woodland. The the real tree stuff and the mossy oak stuff that you see a lot of people wearing, and the jack pike stuff, it's okay. You know, we use it for stalking. It's okay. It's okay. A lot of it with kit is the gathered information or the gained wisdom is that deer only see in black and white or muted colours. They can actually tell between light and dark. So a lot of the washing powders that we use have got things called brighteners in them. So if you're using technical clothing and you're just washing them in the washing machine, you're kind of defeating the object, because you just stand out like the ready brek kid walking through the forest. So if you are going to wash your kit, there are specialist cleaners and powders that don't have those bright whiteners in. We use a pine one from Sweden, and the name escapes me. And basically all it does is freshen the clothes up and make them sort of pine scented, which, you know, that's all you need really, as long as the mud and the deer blood comes off. But that Swedish Fleckton, it's called, a bit like the German Fleckton but with no browning. Very, very good quality kit. And poncho liners with a wool blanket and maybe a tarp or a poncho or half of a lavu, something like that. Excellent, you know, lightweight kit for kipping out in. Really good. Got a thermos. I always carry a thermos. These Stanley ones are very good. They're not very expensive. I think that were about £8 at TK Maxx. And game wisdom that we do anyway is we take a brew with us. When we stop, while we're drinking that brew, we heat some more water up and boil some more water so that we've got hot water. Wash our pots, fill the thermos up again, and then when you stop again, you've got hot brew to go straight into. Then repeat the process, heat some more water up, make some fresh brew for when you move off, and then you've got more brew for when you set off. Big plastic pegs I picked up, I've not used. Got them from Sports Direct, couple of quid worth having. Couple of stuff sacks, paracord. I've got a question actually, guys. I've been thinking quite recently about buying a hammock and a tarp, and I know absolutely nothing about them. I've looked at a guy called Mike Dixon, who has Stone Age Bushcraft, and he recommended watching a series of videos by a guy called Shug Emery. If you've never watched them, check out his 10 newbie items and 10 newbie ways to hang tarps and hammocks. He's a really funny guy, and I sat out one night and watched him, and I were rolling laughing, and I just had to email the guy and say, you know, you're a genius, like. And he gave me some good pointers, but I'm still a bit in dark. So I know quite a lot of you guys use tarps and hammocks and mosquito nets. So if you can recommend one, or recommend one to me that I can use and I can take with me and throw it in stocking bag, I really would appreciate it. Bearing in mind the constraint is I'm 6'5" and I'm nearly 19 stone, so it's going to have to be a decent sized thing. I looked at the Snug Pack one that says it will take up to 175 kilos, so that might be a thing. But this Shug Emery guy recommended one, and I want to say headdress, but I don't think it is head. I think it's war bonnet, perhaps. I stand to be corrected anyway. But if any of you have got any advice or any gained wisdom about big tarps, I looked at the DD tarp, which I think is 4.5 meters, which I think could be ideal. But you know, again, I stand to be corrected because I know nothing about them. So if any of you can suggest some kit or suggest something I need to talk to, by all means, please let me have it. This is my tarp bag. That's just a plastic ground sheet, and then I've got what you've all got in your tarp bags. I've got you know, guy lines and bungees and paracord and all that sort of stuff. The tarp that I use at the moment is a British Army. It's the new MTM tarp, and this came from a friend of mine who shall remain nameless, but NW, if you're watching, nice one fella, thanks for that, I got it. So that came from a good pal of mine who said that when he saw one he would snag me one, so nice one fella. Right, let's have a little pack all that stuff away. This is just lightweight sleeping kit. It's a lightweight sleeping bag, a Mericlon liner, a thermal liner, and a Survival Aids Gore-Tex bivy bag, the diagonal zip one, the military one. I don't know if any of you remember Survival Aids. It used to be a little shop that was in a little village called Shap near Penrith in Cumbria. You've probably all seen catalogues. Those of you that are sort of approaching 50 like I am, you might remember the old Survival Aids days where they were the shop that if you wanted survival kit and survival knives and stuff like that, that's where you went for your kit. I had many happy hours up there, and you know, I had some good chats and went on a couple of their courses. They were really good. Pockets on Pathfinder pack. Constructed out of the same material, obviously. That's the one with the axe sleeve at the back of it. Heavy duty leather gloves. These I got from Costco, and I think there were 3 pairs for about a tenner plus VAT, and they're the Wells Fargo ones. They're made out of steer hide, but very good, very supple. This is the 3rd pair, and the other 2 pair are in truck, but this is the sort of 3rd pair, and all the weather off, and what can you say about a pair of leather gloves? Warm stock, you know, when you're putting ropes up and putting ice seats up and stuff, you know, handy to have a pair of gloves. And then got the Pathfinder cup and the Pathfinder water bottle, which, you know, I really like. Never boiled anything up in that, only on a gas ring, and you can boil water in that. I do have the gag, which is the pipe gag, which they put in the top there to hang it over the you know, the flame, but that's downstairs. Let's have a look in this other pouch, this other thing here. We've just got a nylon stuff sack that's got fire kit in. It's got a opinel saw, it's got a Swiss Army knife, just so that if I had to drop my bag and grab one thing, I could grab that, and you know, still have the tools that I needed. Now this front zip pocket this is more like the TARDIS. This is more like, you know, what I would suggest is a good piece of kit, and it's a great addition to this bag because it allows me to put all the bits and bats of sort of knick-knack stuff in, and sort of stuff that I use quite a lot, and you know, little bits that you pick up and you think, I'll stick that in my pack for, you know, future consumption, or, you know, have a look at it later. Crab line, which I showed you before, bag of hooks and spinners and flies and bobble floats and all that sort of stuff. What else have we got? That's a little monocular, a little Tasco monocular I picked up off eBay, just so see it lie at land. What we got here? Waterproof matches. We've got some adventure medical kit stuff, survive outside longer, some purse nets, fire strikers, some snares, a catapult and some ammo. Don't know if that's going to be any good, but you never know. One thing I would suggest, if you're going to be out and about, and if you're going to be outdoors, and if you're going to be near anything where you are going to get impaled, where you're going to get shot at, where you're going to get shot, the possibility of you getting a green stick fracture, anything like that, then please lay your hands on a trauma pack. These are made by Adventure Medical Kits. They're about 18 quid, and it has a thing in it. I don't know if you can see the thing there. It's called Quick Clot. Now, I don't know if any of you have used Quick Clot or you know what it is. What Quick Clot is a derivative of volcanic matter. Generally volcanic ash that's been ground up, and what that will do is it will plug a wound. Now, we've been stalkers and been around high velocity rifles and things like that. Accidents do happen. Now, knock on wood, find some wood, knock on wood, I have never been privy to a gunshot accident, and I don't want to be, because the photos that I've seen of stuff like that where people have been careless with centerfire weapons and very, very powerful, you know, rifles, well, it don't bear thinking about, does it? Somebody's going home in a box. But anything can happen. I have dealt with guys that have growled deer and cut the hands and cut knees and cut legs and cut arteries in their arms and one thing or another. I've dealt with guys where they've fallen from high seats and got their legs caught around ladders and broken bones and had bones sticking out, one thing or another, broken ribs. And of course we have to be medically trained. You know, we've got a really good practitioner that teaches us how to you know, go on, and he's nationally recognised, and we've got a qualification to say that we can do what we can do. But trauma packs are worth having. It's got all the stuff in it that you would have in your normal, you know, your normal first aid kit, but it's got the quick clotting. If you don't want to go to expensive that's fine, but if you want to get yourself a pack of quick clot, you can get it on eBay, or you can get it generally from, if you've got a tree surgeon supplies near where you live. They usually keep it, because tree surgeons usually keep it in their first aid kit in case they get a chainsaw injury, because they can, you know, it clots the blood, and it does what it says on the tin, quick clot. It clots blood quickly. So if you've got a gaping wound that you are not prepared to stitch, or you can't stitch, you pour this material on, turn the bag inside out because it's sterile, put the bag actually on the wound, and then dress it up, and then get to A&E post haste. Chances are, before you've got end at road, that volcanic material will have made a plug, and it will stop the bleeding. It will stop arterial bleeding. If there is a video on YouTube of them cutting it's a dead pig, and they fill the artery with the main arteries with blood and cut them, and then they put quick clot on, and it stops the bleeding almost instantly. So they're very, very good. I can't rate them highly enough. I've only ever used it on really bad cuts where lads have been gralking deer and cut the hands, or one guy cut his femoral artery in his leg. Only used it a couple of times. Now we've been trained on the vet staplers, you know, the staplers with the stainless steel staples. A guy that we took out who came from abroad said he knew it all, you know, and didn't really, and was very, very dangerous with a knife, and cut himself, and we had to stitch him up and, you know, send him on his way home. But those things do happen, unfortunately. So if you're not medically trained, you don't have to be. You know, buy yourself a trauma pack, keep it in the boot of the car, keep it in your bug out bag, in your pack, whatever, but well worth the money. And I always sleep a lot sounder if I'm out and about with people that I don't know, knowing I've got one of these in my bag. Right, two last things that I wanted to talk about. The Maxpedition Volta pack. This is another TARDIS little pack. It's made for carrying batteries like that. That slides in there. But what Maxpedition did, they've actually put like a gusset in the back, and as you can see, that's rammed. It's rammed with stuff. We've got, you know, permasafe stores in there, got a Spyderco knife in there, DC4 whetstone, first aid gear, painkillers, fishing kit, sewing kit, and it's all in a little pouch. The only thing with Maxpedition is they make them for molly platform, which means you need to get, if you're going to wear it on your belt, you need to get these little straps, which basically is just Maxpedition's way of squeezing a bit more dough out of you, but there you go. Ideal thing to have. Now these are really good if you're into your carving, and you know, you like making your cuxers and your spoons and stuff like that. I've always found that the files on Leathermans and Swiss Army knives and stuff aren't really very good. And well, not really very good. They're not good. They're not suitable for my purposes. So I looked for a 4-in-1 file. Now the 4-in-1 files that I can get, and the ones that I've seen, are the ones that are owned by my farrier, and they're massive things. But this I found on eBay, and it's basically got a wood rasp on one side and a smooth file on the other, and it folds up like a folding knife. So happy days, keep that in my pack. So ideal for when you could sharpen an axe with that if you so desired. I mean, it's quite coarse, so you could put a decent edge on a knife or an axe with it, you know, in an emergency if you had to. So guys, Pathfinder pack, made by Duluth, old world materials, old world kind of kind of charm to it. You know, all this leather stuff will probably break. Like I said to you before, I break leather thongs real easily, so that's probably going to have to get changed out for paracord. Oh, there's another zip pocket there as well. That's just got fishing kit in and Myobo line and hand light and all that sort of stuff that you might need quite quickly. So, right guys, Pathfinder pack. Look it up on eBay. There's probably a lot better reviews than I can do, but if you're in market for a new rucksack, then I wouldn't think you could go far wrong. Alright guys, thanks very much for your time today. You all keep safe. Bye bye.